you said something that I felt the same way, dude. I was cool with the jocks because I played sports, but I was also like kind of a nerd because I was addicted to RuneScape, you know? So like,
yo, I love RuneScape.
Are you serious? Oh my dude, bro. We are best friends, bro. We are best friends.
If you go to my house, my brother will be fishing, you know? That's why we vibe so much. Bro, isn't that crazy how that game had an economy?
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah. Well, every industry could get bad reps, you get me? But sometimes the industry just gets bad rep because not everybody gets results, but it's not the program's fault. It's usually the entrepreneur that's taking the information.
Dude, Javi, welcome, bro.
Oh, we're recording?
Yeah.
Oh, snaps. I'm so sorry. So unprofessional of me.
Bro, this is the natural way to go, man.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
Of course, man. Dude, I wanted to interview you and do a podcast, a casual conversation, because this is actually your first mastermind.
Yeah. Well, I've been my first one in a long time.
Yeah? What was the first one you went to? Okay, like the acquisition workshop?
Yeah, but it was like, we haven't gone to something like this maybe like 2 years or a year and a half.
Yeah.
True. It was more like an event than a mastermind.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And experience so far?
I love it, man. Like what I wanted to get out of it, I got out of it, so I'm happy.
Nice.
You know?
Why don't you quickly introduce yourself and then what you do for the people that are watching who might not know you yet?
So my name is Javi. I own a company called Adma with my wife, Clarissa, and we pretty much help the credit and funding industry scale by implementing the same strategies that help to scale our own company. So if you're in the credit space or the financial space, we pretty much help you with marketing to grow your business.
Yeah, have you seen all the ads from people that say, well, grant your business funding, however much, 50K, 100K, 150K. It's because they're so good at what they do that they help those business owners scale like crazy. And so obviously it's working. And dude, how did you come across me and my content exactly?
Brian, I feel like I know you for a while, bro. Like maybe like a year or something.
Okay.
Like I would just watch your YouTube because I like seeing people who I feel like I'll be this person's friend.
Yeah.
You know, like because if they're so out of reach or so like $1 billion whatever, I feel like I can't relate too much. But with you, I was like, man, this guy seems so cool, so down to earth. So I've been watching you for about a year, and then I was like, I need to get on my YouTube game. So we were talking about it because we went through that thing that, you know, my account got shut down for a couple months. And
I'm like, talk about that. So like,
oh man,
that's a crazy story in itself. You were telling me about that.
So right at the peak, doing around 325K per month, 12, 11 employees, some guy shut down our account and it was holding our account for ransom. And it was just brutal. It was for 2 months or 3 months or so, just nonstop. And it will pay them, then somebody else will bound it. And it was just, then it was happening to our clients. So it was just like, I felt like my business wasn't safe anymore. And I was actually very frustrated that a random stranger could just take down our business.
Yeah,
so I was like, yo, this is not even...
And you were telling me that that's literally some people's businesses is they take it down and then they sell it back to you.
Bro, right? Some of these guys were doing $500,000 per month doing this.
That's insane.
I was like, wow. And one thing that I was kind of pissed off about was like, why am I paying Instagram, you know, $20 a month for verifying?
The verification.
And I was getting banned for impersonating a politician. I'm like, who? You know, like how am I impersonating a politician? But you know, I guess they're working around the whatever it is.
The policy and stuff.
Yeah, and then we're getting banned. So that was rough. So I knew I had to diversify my client acquisitions, you know? And since we don't send any emails, I was like, I gotta go to YouTube. And I knew you were the guy, bro. You worked with like a lot of the people that I admire as well. So that was not a no-brainer for me. I was like, when I'm ready to move into YouTube, like I'm going to work with Brian. And that was like established like 6 or 8 months ago. But then I kind of went through some personal stuff, took a little bit break.
Yeah.
Didn't work for like 3 or 4 months, you know? So the company completely tanked.
Yeah.
And then I got it back to where we are right now. And then I'm like, okay, let me go join Brian's program.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that recently, how we had a similar journey the last few months where it's like we were making all the money we ever thought we would and could. And it was everything that we thought it was until it was like, well, what else is there, right? Like, because you realize family obviously is very important, and obviously, you know, we went through something similar as well. Like I just had a kid recently, so like my priorities changed pretty significantly in terms of like, yeah, it's okay, you're making good money, but it's like if you're sacrificing your health and also your happiness, it's like at a certain point you're just chasing another milestone and another milestone and another milestone until you realize you're just consistently increasing the actual like finish line.
Yeah, it's like what we were talking about, that we become entrepreneurs to get like the ultimate freedom, and then along the way we lose sight of that, and then we just turn to like a 24/7 job.
Yeah, you escape the 9 to 5 because you want to have freedom, and then you create a 9 to 9.
Yeah, or 24/7.
Yeah. Like it's like what Bashar said. He's like, I work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, 24 hours a day.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
I'm seeing it now. Like we were talking about, it's like season. I had my 3 or 4 years, I
Yeah.
was locked the hell in.
Exactly.
All I talked was about business. You couldn't even talk to me about shows or move, like anything. I was just, if you don't talk to me about business, I'm not having a conversation with you. And I was like very, very, serious about that. Into, some stuff happened personally, and then just kind of changed my mindset to appreciate life more. I'm like, I got to the point that I always wanted to be, but I'm not appreciating it. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not like traveling with my family
Yeah.
or doing things with them. So I'm like, I'm just always working.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what was the point of this? So I kind of, now more of a, I'm gonna enjoy my life and I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a good thing, I think, because most people don't realize that, like, at the end of it, they'll be grinding and grinding and grinding. And I think you have to go through, like you said, right? Like, same with me. I needed to go through that 5-year sprint to be able to get to where I am today, like you are today too, to be able to realize, okay, cool, like we can do it. But also it's like, do we want to sacrifice everything else just to be continue doing it? And that's the reality where you got to say, well, I got to realign my priorities a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Like, but the only way you can find that out if you go through it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because so many people tell you.
Dude, everybody told me that. I
Yeah.
remember Sam Ovens when I was in Quantum, or Traffic and Funnels, like Taylor Welch and all these guys, and they would talk about how they scaled it all the way up to 36 million, blah 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 blah. You can name the number, and they would all say, but then I realized this, and what you really want is this, and I would hear them say that, and I'm just thinking, I just kind of want to go as, like, I remember actually someone asking me, they're like, how far do you want to take this thing? And I was like, at this time I was doing about 100K a month, and they were like, I want to go to I was like, I want to go to 250, and they're like, why? And I was just like, I want to see if I can do it. It's like, but I'm telling you, I've had so many people get to that, and they don't really know why they want it though. And I'm like, I just want to see if I can do it, and when I'm there, I'll figure out if I want to do something different.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
like you're just like almost in survival mode for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then like once like you're more like when you're thriving, you don't really realize, and you just keep working and working
Exactly.
and working. And also it's the work hustle culture too,
Yeah.
that we get caught up in it. That like, because we were talking about this sometimes. Like I'm not doing nothing because I don't need to do nothing, but I feel like I need to do something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like I get a little bit of like, I shouldn't be watching this movie right now. I
Yeah,
should be
yeah, yeah,
working or
yeah.
something, So
It's the success trap, because I mean, we talked about this, but we look to these guys, like, again, much respect to all of them. They've helped me significantly. Patrick Bet David, like the Alex Hormozis, the Dean Graziosis, like all these guys that are pushing, and you want to be that. Like, that's what you think the pinnacle of success is. And to a certain extent it is, right? Like in business, for example. And then you try to be them exactly, or do exactly, but you just realize it's like, you're not them, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to carve your own path. Like they're them because of their own reasons.
Yeah.
But also it's like, just like you said, like I remember, just the other week I was rocking my baby, trying to get her to sleep. And, all I could think about was, I should be working right now. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. But meanwhile, I couldn't even enjoy this newborn baby that I had in my hands, that for the first time in my life, I get to be a dad. I get to be the leader I felt like I never had growing up in my life. And it's like, well, why am I going to miss that for the sake of this programming I have of like, I should be doing this or that?
Yeah, but I feel like you kind of need that to start off. Like you need that like aggression, like focus, discipline, because at the beginning you're so like, there's so many things.
Scatterbrained,
Yeah, so like
unfocused.
You just need to like be a monster at the beginning. And I feel like once you kind of find your sweet spot, you can pull back a little bit. It just, for me, like something really dramatic had to happen for me to realize, you're not enjoying your life.
And it was family, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I've talked in another place, like my father, my grandpa, and then also a close friend of mine took his own life.
Wow.
It all happened in 1 month. And I'm like, just dealing with that so much that same month kind of just made me realize, why am I working so hard? I'm barely seeing my family. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Let me spend this money and enjoy it with my family. So like, yeah, I guess you have to go through that, but you have to be an absolute savage, I believe. You get me? And then maybe when you get to where you want to get, if you want, you can kind of soften up a little bit.
It's funny because you and I were just talking about how you have a client right now, right, who shall not be named, obviously, and he said he wants his goal to be 100K a month, right? And you and I both know you got to be that monster, you got to be that savage to get to that, because it's like, to get from 0 or wherever he was, whether it's 10K, 20K a month, like to 100, it's like, that's all in, like that's nonstop, like that's go. And you were telling me how like he has taken weeks, if not months, to get you one simple VSL or whatever the deliverable was that he was assigned to do, and you had to like chew him out on a voice message and be like, bro, you're not acting like the person that you said you wanted to be. You're not going to get to the goal you said you want to have if you keep acting like this. You got to get in check. And he actually responded to you and thanked you, because he probably doesn't have somebody calling him out like that in his life right now.
Of course.
And so that because you went through that, like he has to do that.
Yeah, and another thing is, once you know how to make, like once you know what to do and you reach these high, monthly figures, it's kind of easier to get there. Like now, like I'm way over 6-figure months, but I'm not working as hard to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
You get me? So getting there is a little bit different than sustaining it.
Yeah.
Sustaining it is like once you get there, then it's easier to kind of like work less or whatever it may be because you know where to put your energy.
Yeah, it's inputs and it's it's just consistency in inputs, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the scale of the inputs and the scale you want to get to.
Yes.
But it's the same basics repeated over and over and over again. But the problem is getting the person who doesn't have those basics and those fundamentals down. It's harder for them to actually stay consistent.
It's hard because for me, I want all my clients to be successful.
Yeah.
So the ones who I don't, I feel some type of way.
Of course.
So like I'm always like, yo, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And you get to a point that you realize like after you work with hundreds of different companies that like, it doesn't matter what I do, this person cannot be helped. I feel like some people just get into programs just to, they think that's the work. Oh, I went to the mastermind, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I bought into a course, that's like, I did the work.
Yeah.
And when you get into a mastermind, into a course, into a program, that's when it starts.
Yeah.
You get me? So I feel like there's a good portion of the population that feels like if they buy into a mentorship or a course or whatever,
The job's done.
the job's done. And I'm like, bro, like now's when the work starts.
Yeah.
So that's why we hold accountability. Like it's one of our core values and on our sales calls, we're very clear, like, hey, we're going to hold you accountable. And my wife, I actually offboarded, which we were talking about it, offboarded some clients that like, hey, we stopped the payments.
Yeah.
So we've literally said no to money, man. That's how like, we're like, I don't want to work with you. I don't even want, like, we're stopped the payments. We're going to offboard you. And then sometimes they're like, no, we're so sorry, whatever. They tried to kind of like fix the relationship or whatever. But yeah, man, it's very, very difficult.
How did you even get into the credit repair and funding scape?
I needed to make money.
Okay, yeah.
I needed, so
What were you doing before that, and how did it lead up to that, right?
I had a big car rental. Just a rental company. I had like 11 Airbnbs and like 40 something cars, and people would come to Miami.
Well, that's
and
no joke, dude.
Yeah, they
11
rent.
Airbnbs and 40 cars.
Yeah, they'll rent like a car, and I'm like, do you have this place to stay?
So it's like a car fleet, basically, right?
Yeah. It was a huge rental company, and then if they were staying in the Airbnb, we'd be like, do you need a car? You know, and vice versa. So we would kind of like provide whatever we need, and we honestly trusted the wrong people. You know, we're like one of the first business that we started making real money. And bro, one day we wake up and $500,000 was gone. Like, I'll get into detail the story one day with you, but pretty much we got scammed. They lost $500,000.
And they were like partners in the business?
No, we were just given too much trust. I could get into details, but it's a very long story.
Okay.
But we just trusted the wrong people, and essentially they stole vehicles and crashed vehicles that when I went to my insurance and said claim the damages, they're like, these people don't exist, so we can't cover you.
Oh my goodness.
So imagine losing like one G-Wagon, it's 150 grand or 100 grand, and they're like, oh, we can't cover you. Nah, you got to cover it.
Oh my God.
So that all amounted to almost $500,000. And I knew the funding game. That's how I got to that level, because I had funded myself over 300K.
Gotcha.
So like I knew the thing, and we needed to make almost like 35 to 40K a month to file for bankruptcy. The reason why I didn't file for bankruptcy is because if I did, my family was tied into the business because I was using their credit as well.
And their credit would have been
everybody would have been screwed. So I was
Yeah.
like, I need to make money now.
Yeah.
So we started the funding offer. You know, that's another thing that I changed. Most of the industry was charging a percent of the back of the fund. So if I get you 100 grand, they'll charge you like 5% or 10% of the fund.
Oh.
But then you can't scale that way because I had to front the money to acquire the client and then
Yeah.
scale. So I came up with like the model of like, let me charge up front.
Yeah.
And I pretty much changed the industry that way. Now everybody's charging up front. And that's how I got, it was literally, I need to make at least 40 grand a month or file for bankruptcy. And in a weekend, we recorded the course, like the curriculums. We did everything like in 3 days. Course, ads, landing pages, VSL, everything. And then that same week, we got a sale of like 5K or something like that. And we're like, all right, babe, let's like, this is it. And then that's when we scaled to like 300 something K. And then we were in different coaching programs, and we were the most successful clients in those programs. And everybody just kept asking us, how the hell you guys are scaling, whatever. And a lot of them were credit and funding companies. So we're like, they were started getting huge results. Like without me having a program, other people are doing like 50K months, 100K a month.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, we got to do our own thing. And then since I didn't want to talk about credit the rest of my life, I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I love marketing.
Yeah.
I love like just talking about business. So let me shift my focus into helping people do the same thing that I did. So that's kind of it wasn't a master or genius plan. It kind of just happened accidentally, to be honest.
Well, it happened out of necessity. And it also, it's funny because you said that you learned the credit repair and the funding game from the business you had previously that was basically a stepping stone, if you look back on it, to get you to where you are now, right? It was a blessing in disguise in a way.
So I went to this Airbnb. I love to go to Colorado. I go like twice a year. I love to snowboard. I take my family out there. I love the snow. And I stayed in this Airbnb that like we paid like $7 grand for like 7 days. The barbecue was broken, and she's like, walk to the house across and use that barbecue. I'm like, what do you mean the house across? She's like, oh no, that one's mine. And that broke me. At the time, I wasn't even an entrepreneur. I was working, like, I don't even know where I was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she has 2 houses? I'm like, if she has 2, she has 10. If she has 10, she has 100. I'm like, oh my gosh, she owns the whole neighborhood. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? So I'm like, babe, when we get back to Miami, we have to do something.
Yeah.
And and then we're like, I can't buy properties, you know?
Yeah.
So the closest thing was car rentals. So I did Uber Eats for like a month and a half, me and my wife. We made like 10 grand or 12 grand, paid our credit cards down. My credit shot to like 750 or something. And I just started borrowing hella debt to, build that fleet. And that business was built almost like in 7-8 months.
Gotcha.
You get me? Just utilizing credit. So I understood. I'm like, oh, I don't need to be rich. I just need to have a good credit score and people lend me money.
The funny thing is, dude, is throughout the entire time we've been talking, the number one trait that you have that most people don't is just the sheer resilience and the hustle.
Yeah.
Like,
thank you,
I think I mean, dude, like you've been hustling, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hustling in everything you've done. And even before that business, I think we talked about it in the break one time during the mastermind this weekend. It was like you had your own production, music recording business.
I had a music studio.
So,
but I was like barely breaking even, bro. Like it was a nonprofit, like literally. Like I was making no money. It felt cool because I'm like, I have my own studio and I'm recording rappers and I was but no, I was so broke, bro. I was so broke that my friends would make fun of me. I was the last person to own a car.
So, okay.
My friends would make fun of me. When are you going to buy a car? And I have a funny story. My great-grandma, rest in peace, her soul, she's amazing. She will pray every day. It's like, oh, hopefully Javi becomes successful and finally gets a car. And she prays so much that in my lifetime, I own like 84 cars. You get me? Like all the prayers came in at once.
Gracias a Dios.
Yes. I was like, thank you, grandma. But she prayed for me literally every day. And then I'll see her. She's like, oh, I'm praying for you right now. I'm getting a little bit emotional. But she's like, I'm praying for you every day. I'm praying for you every day. Because I was honestly the biggest loser in my family. I was telling you. Like,
you were telling me.
Because I was just so focused on the music. And for me, I was so focused on the music, I didn't understand that it was a business.
Gotcha.
I was just so focused on the product.
Yeah.
And I thought I had the best music in the world, but nobody heard it. So it's funny how the world is like, the reason why I wasn't successful before was because of marketing.
Yeah.
And now I'm a marketing guy. So it's crazy how, how the world happens. So, it's insane.
It's stepping stones. It's so funny because we were geeking out about that. I was like, I got into music first and foremost. I
Yeah.
had my own little closet studio. I was recording my friends. I was getting paid.
We all start in the closet.
Yeah, like closet studio, getting paid maybe $25, $50 for an hour recording session or whatever. And then that became like the next thing, a longboard company. Then the longboard company didn't work, and then it became door-to-door sales, and door-to-door sales didn't work, and then I did online marketing, and so it's all working.
You
out.
look like you own a longboard company, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, you look
my
like
hair,
the type.
my hair, it's growing out right now, dude.
You look like the surfer dude. I own surfboards and longboards.
It's called Lazy Hut Longboards. I don't think I've ever talked about it publicly, but we made 100 longboards in the summer, just 9 to 9, just sweatshopped it, bro, me and my friend, and then, it didn't sell. And I learned marketing the hard way because I realized I was trying to sell $250 custom handmade longboards to college kids that didn't have any freaking money. And we maybe sold 5 to 5 of my friends who were my partner's friends that were also rich. So like Scottsdale, it's a little bit part of Arizona. It's like the richest part of Scottsdale, Arizona. And the only people that bought them were his friends. But in the end, I ended up learning more about marketing and sales. But to go back, it's like the number one thing that you had was just the hustle, the resilience, and just...
I mean, for anybody who's maybe watching this that's not an entrepreneur right now, I just feel like such a failure. Like I was like 25, like I'm not helping anybody. Like I was living with my mom and I was just like, man, like for some reason deep inside, I always knew I was gonna do something big to help others. Like, I don't know why that was in me since I was a small kid. Like my mom would in Cuba, my mom would give me food and then I would share my food in my school thing, and then she'd be like, yo, why are you so hungry today? I was like, I give my food away. You get me? So that's like in me since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
You get me? I have so many stories in Cuba, but yeah, so it's like, one thing I wanted to add, man, that like, don't you think the reason of your failure is the reason why you're succeeding right 100%. Now? And I see so many entrepreneurs are failing, or scared of failing. I'm like, bro, that's the ticket to get where you want to be.
Yeah, it was it was ingrained in me pretty early on because I realized I was like, if I don't try, I'm not going to succeed ever.
Yeah.
And I always knew like to get what I wanted, I had to do something different because like I didn't come from money, obviously. And so like I read the book that changed my life was The Compound Effect.
Oh, really?
And there was another book actually, Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy.
Yeah.
And he said the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't like a crazy different thing. It's just a few simple disciplines practiced every single day. It's just like the rich people just do a few things differently than the average person does, compounded over time. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, I can be successful too if I just change what I'm doing every single day and do things a little bit differently. So I started reading books. I started reading personal development podcasts.
What happened to me, man?
Yeah.
And you can ask her, it was like a night and day. Like one day I never read a book in my life. The next day I was devouring books. Like a book a day almost. I'll put in Audible and I'll sit there in my backyard 3 or 4 hours and I will go, you can ask her, I was reading literally a book a day for almost like a full year.
I mean, I believe it because like you said something that I felt the same way, dude. Like you said, I just didn't like myself. I was fed up with, I felt like a loser. I grew up like hating the way I looked because I wasn't confident in myself. I didn't get the girls, I was always I was cool with the jocks because I played sports, but I was also like kind of a nerd because I was addicted to RuneScape, So like,
yo, I love RuneScape.
Are you serious?
I fucking love. My brother's playing right now. Like he's.
Oh my dude, bro.
He just,
we are best friends, bro. We are best friends.
If you go to my house, my brother will be fishing.
Bro, I had 99 strength.
He just maxed his account recently.
I had 99 strength, 99 def, 99 range.
I was a pure. Like one defense
I had
pure.
multiple pures, bro.
Oh, man.
I had a range pure.
That's why we vibe so much.
Bro, I was addicted to that game, and I think it actually helped me in today's stuff because I used to it was marketing. I was selling fresh lobbies, glow.
Isn't that crazy how that game had an economy?
Yeah.
I don't think that was so crazy.
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But I felt like a loser at the same time because I was this sort of nerd, but I was also playing sports and everything.
Yeah.
But deep down I was like, dude, why? But you said it too. I had this innate feeling that I would do something to help people.
Yeah.
I would make an impact. And I guess it was a little bit of craziness too, but I was like this underdog mentality a little bit. And what's funny is the first thing that changed for me was when I flipped the script, and instead of saying like those negative things, it was like the Brian Tracy book, Psychology of Selling. It was like the 3 words any person can say to themselves, especially salespeople, to change everything for themselves is I like myself.
Yeah.
I like myself. I like
also,
myself.
I was like fed up that people were look at me like this is the failure of the family. And I'm like, oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. There was even people who will tell my wife, why are you with this guy? He's a fucking loser.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so you got that chip a little bit
Yeah,
too.
I'm like, all right. No, I was like, I'm mad now. You know, bro, like if I get into it, it's too long. Like I even have my own father sometimes say stuff he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, watch me, bro. Just so like.
And isn't that crazy? Because you said that the family used to, the family in general would think that you were probably not going to be the one that made it, but here we are today, right? And you have all the family over at your place.
Bro, they all ask me. They're all like, it's like I'm like like if they need something, they come to me now.
And it's a good thing. It's not like it's like a bad thing that they're doing it. It's like, dude, you want to help them. That's what you've always wanted to be.
That's what I always wanted to do.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I was telling you and Clarissa the other day, I was like, dude, your guys' pool parties at your house look lit, man. Like next time you have one, let me come over because that looks fun. The family's partying, man.
It's the things that I wanted to be useful. Like a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to be used. I want to be used. I don't care about it. I'd rather be useful than useless.
Gotcha.
And some people feel some type of way of like, I don't care when somebody calls me like, oh, hey man, you think I could call you and talk to you? I'm like, yeah, come on over, man. Let's talk about it. Like I don't care. Like I like helping people. It gives me a smile. That's probably why I kind of do this business because I'm helping a lot of people. I know it sounds corny, but like my program has literally changed some people's life, and they've really told me like we've had like emotional conversations, and it's just the fulfillment there. It's great, because you can make a lot of money, but if you're not fulfilled, it's very depressing.
Well, that's the funny part about why it irritates me that this industry gets such a bad rep because yes, there are a lot of bad apples and there are a lot of people who just don't genuinely care about, or they prioritize money over people. And those are the cases that get exploited in this space. But you just said it. It's like, dude, the only reason why I got into this industry was because I was fucked up. Like, I turned to personal development, and I learned through books, through podcasts, through information products, through courses, through coaching, through masterminds. Therefore, I believe in it so much because it changed my life. So, of course, the only thing I can do is do it for other people to help them, give them that experience too. Like you guys, like this was, in a while, your first official real mastermind, and like, what was like your guys' takeaways this week? Like probably a bunch of things, right?
Oh yeah.
Like immediately the insights, the light bulb moments.
I mean, for anybody out there, if you're not investing in yourself, good luck. It's like, and I was just talking to outside, I forgot the gentleman's name. He was like, how did you become successful quickly? I'm like, because I didn't have the ego of solving the problem.
Gotcha.
I was like, the who, not how.
Yeah.
I'm very big on that. That's why I was like, instead of figuring out YouTube, Brian, what's up, bro? What can we do? Because I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to be the smartest guy. I just want to make as much money as possible in the easy way, as quick as possible. And that is like, you get shortcuts when you work with people like you.
Yeah.
Which people, yeah, it might have a bad rep, but I also think it's all about the entrepreneur and the people receiving that information. Because like since I have a coaching program, I give everybody the same information, but we have clients, someone is doing like $500,000 per month and the other one's doing like 10K per month.
But that guy didn't take the action. That guy's the one that's delaying the deliverable.
Yeah,
right?
taking forever to just do, let's say, like a VSL. So it's like, I know the industry, well, every industry could get bad reps, you get me? But sometimes the industry just gets bad rep because not everybody gets results, but it's not the program's fault. It's usually the entrepreneur that's taking the information.
That's why, funny enough, dude, I don't know if you know who CoffeeZilla is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I actually grew up with him. He was one of my best friends back in in elementary school. And this was obviously elementary school, so this is a long time ago. Steven and his
Steven
and his twin brother Chris. I used to ride my bike over to his place every single day. We would just hang out. And that's why when he started doing all the roast videos of like the industry, I was like, dude, I'm gonna go on his podcast because like I actually went through the industry and I came out successful. So like I can be the case study that shows that no, you can do it. But then I was like, oh, it's just gonna bring negativity no matter what. Like the audience that he attracts is just not gonna accept it no matter what. But the point of me saying that is because you're 100% right. It's like people, I do believe everybody has the ability to be an entrepreneur and be successful, obviously. But the problem is most people just don't want to do the work.
Actually, I don't think that, Brian.
Well, I think it's I think it's the mindset shift, that's the biggest thing holding people back, like, and the discipline and the consistency. It's like you need to have sort of the trauma and the experience that we kind of had growing up to be able to even want to do it. To be able to
I used to be like, oh, anybody could be an entrepreneur, but I noticed that like a lot of people just don't want the smoke.
But they could do it.
Yeah.
But they don't want it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Or maybe they just don't have the discipline. There could be a lot of, little things, but I've noticed that that's why we're talking at the beginning of the podcast. Like you have to be an absolute savage to get where you want to be. And then once you're there, then you can cool off a bit.
It's probably a bad reference now, but like I still love the Diddy clip where, before he got obviously.
Oh, I'm a savage.
Yeah. I'm a savage. Yeah. And like now you look at it and you're like, okay.
Oh man, what type of savage are we talking about?
Maybe not so much. But at the time, before all that, I was like, damn, that's the energy you kind of have to have.
That's what you gotta need,
Yeah, hopefully, obviously, you use it for good.
Yeah.
But I agree. What was your biggest takeaway, would you say, from this weekend's mastermind, if anything?
So one, I need to do this for my own community. Like, I don't know why I haven't done it before. Just being around like-minded individuals, I forgot how exciting it could be.
Yeah.
And like sometimes there's things that you don't even think about, and you're like, that's so obvious. Why am I not doing that right now? Like Uzma was describing a few things. I'm like, dude, no, like that's probably why I couldn't grow such a big team.
Yeah.
You get me? So I need to do my own masterminds. AI is dominating. So if you're not implementing AI in your business, you're probably gonna left behind. Yeah, I mean, there's so many little things that I can't think about right now, but just surround yourself with people who are ahead of you. That's like the best advice I could give you. Anybody listen to this, like surround yourself with people who are better than you. And by proximity, you're gonna eventually get there.
Where should we go for the next mastermind? If you could pick anywhere, admin in blank, where would you go?
I don't know, whatever you're going, bro.
Where would you want to go? I throw the craziest places. I say admin in Antarctica, admin in the Amazon.
Yo.
Bro, I'm trying to go worldwide, but where would you pick next?
I don't know. He's already been to Cape Town.
I haven't. Not with admin mastermind. I went for, so the only reason I was in Cape Town was because I got flown out there to speak at that mastermind.
Yeah.
But I would want to have a mastermind there, yeah.
I have no idea, bro. Maybe in space would be cool, or under the ocean.
Admin in Mars? Elon Musk, what's up?
If we could do a mastermind in the ocean or in space, I think that'd be the coolest.
Admin in Turks and Caicos. We were talking about Turks and Caicos yesterday.
Turks is fire, bro. Turks is fire. I was talking to, we got invited to this yacht party, and it was like, literally everybody there was worth like 150 million or plus. Like, we were shrimps, everybody there. And the guy's like, where have you been yet? And he's like, I haven't been to space, so I'm waiting for it. Like, that was such a cool answer. I'm like, damn, what a flex. He's like, where do you want to be next? Well, I haven't gone to space yet.
Wow, that's fun. That's fun.
But yeah, Turks, I mean, to me, the place doesn't really matter. It's about the people who go in and the information you're getting. It could be in a warehouse, and I will still have fun, bro. So I'm not very picky.
Okay, beautiful. Well, where can people find you, bro?
Hobnose, Instagram, Javier Marrero on YouTube. If you search ATMA, ATMA, or Javier Marrero, you'll find me.
Beautiful. Thank you. Javier and I are going to go immediately and smoke some Cuban cigars in Little Havana and celebrate an amazing end to the Admin Mastermind Miami. I wish you were here, but until next time, we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for the invite.
Cheers.